In the year 1988, he was set to take the world by storm with his renowned guitar virtuosity. What went wrong for Hans Peekol? Get the exclusive scoop tonight on Exclusive Scoop. Hans Peekol had it all. The talent, the fame, the fans, and a sold-out world tour with his critically acclaimed band, the Hans Peekol Experience. Tonight, we delve into the mystery behind Hans Peekol. Hans was born in 1968 to Holland's most famous jazz saxophonist, George Peekol. He moved to California when he was just 5. It was his father's jazz success that inspired him to pursue his music career.
I was very passionate about music from a very young age. I started teaching myself the guitar at about the age of 8.
Hans formed his first band, Bandit, in 1982 when he was just 14. In 1984, at the age of 16, Hans went on to bigger and better things, forming his world-famous band, the Hans Peekol Experience.
I was in a band, Bandit, my first band, and musically we weren't very good, but it was a lot of fun. And then I met a couple of guys who were very, very talented at what they did, and we just sort of clicked, and we started to make some music, and then that became the Hans Peekol Experience.
Fame came quickly for Hans. His revolutionary riffs turned him into a rock messiah. In 1986, Hans Peekol had tours lined up with successful rock acts like Judas Priest, Motley Crue, and Whitesnake. Although Hans was said to be quite the party animal, the Hans Peekol Experience got kicked off a tour with Motley Crue for being too wild.
Oh, the Motley Crue tour, that was a fun tour. I mean, I don't remember much of what happened. I do remember a grand piano getting thrown out of the top floor of the building, but I really can't remember much more than that, other than it was a good time.
Hans Peekol. Oh man, he partied even harder than he played. And he played hard.
2 years on, in 1988, Hans had a European tour booked for the release of his new album, but it never happened. Hans never showed, his whereabouts unknown, and the Hans Peekol Experience phenomenon to be quickly faded into obscurity.
The tour was amazing opportunity for the band, and we were very excited. I just couldn't deal with the lifestyle anymore. The years of partying had just taken its toll, and I decided I had to go cold turkey and join the Hare Krishna cult. And spiritually as well, I was looking to transform myself in a superior level.
So Hans got clean, but in 1992, the clean living lifestyle of the Hare Krishnas wasn't enough to stop him falling off the wagon, and he ended up in rehab.
I found Hans passed out in the gutter on Sunset Strip. He was off his head. Man, we'd partied so hard that night, I had to take him to the rehab center in the morning.
Following 10 years of going in and out of rehab, Hans Peekol got in contact with his old manager.
One day, I get this phone call from a man claiming to be Hans Peekol. Took a bit of convincing, but eventually I did realise that it was indeed Hans, and he was very serious about getting the band back together.
The first thing I did when I got out of rehab was call Chaz because, well, I trusted him, he was my friend, and after 15 years of heroin abuse, it was the only number I could really remember.
So with Hans Peekol and his band back, he looks set to recapture some of the magic that made him one of the most successful rock acts of the 1980s.
I'm back and ready to rock, just like in 1988.
So there you have it, the story of Hans Peekol. I'm Slade Cooper, good night and thank you for watching.